Uchishake onna, the curse of the woman in the red kimono. In a remote village in Japan, there is a legend about Uchishake onna, the ghost of a woman in a red kimono who haunts cold nights. Those who see her never return, leaving only bloody footprints on the stone-paved streets. The origin of Uchishake onna. Centuries ago, there lived a woman named Aiko, a bride deeply loved by her husband. On her wedding day, she wore an uchishake, a long red kimono embroidered with gold, a symbol of happiness and fortune. However, her joy turned into tragedy. Another woman, envious of Aiko, manipulated her husband, spreading lies until he was driven to madness. In a fit of rage, he stabbed Aiko repeatedly in their wedding chamber. Blood poured out, soaking her red kimono until it looked like a sea of death. Before taking her last breath, Aiko whispered, "I will return, and you will regret it." From that night on, the sound of weeping echoed through the village alleys. Aiko's husband was later found dead, his face frozen in sheer terror. The woman who destroyed her marriage also vanished without a trace. Legends say that Aiko had become Uchishake onna, a vengeful spirit hunting anyone who disturbs her peace. A night of terror in the village. A young man named Kenta was walking home late at night from a festival in a nearby village. A cold wind blew, and the moon was barely visible behind the thick, dark clouds. As he crossed an old wooden bridge, he saw a figure standing in the distance. Her long red kimono draped over the ground, swaying slightly in the night breeze. Her face was obscured by her long black hair, but a faint smile peeked through the strands covering her pale lips. Kenta's heart pounded. For some reason, his body felt paralyzed. "Do you see my red kimono?" A whispery voice echoed in his ears. Suddenly, the woman lifted her face. Her eyes were hollow, filled with pure hatred. Her smile stretched unnaturally wide, nearly splitting her cheeks apart. Blood dripped from the corners of her mouth. Kenta bolted, running as fast as he could, but the footsteps behind him grew closer. Even when he glanced back, no one was there. His breath came in ragged gasps, cold sweat trickling down his neck. Finally reaching his home, he fumbled with trembling hands to unlock the door. But before he could step inside, a crimson shadow loomed behind him. Kenta never had the chance to scream. The next morning, only a trail of bloody footprints remained in front of his house. They say, if you ever see Uchishake onna, never answer her question. Never look into her eyes, or you will be the next victim.